Hello Goon Gang, it's I, Ben BP, and welcome to a new video. In this video, I'm gonna yap a little bit. I'm gonna yap about content, YouTube, what it's like to be a creator, and why I'm stuck. Because I'm a little stuck. This video is gonna be a little bit different. I'm actually here just to try and figure out my thoughts and try and see what's going on in my own head, and giving you guys a little bit more information on that. All of this started when I started thinking about YouTube and making content, because contrary to what people think, making successful videos is pretty hard. Well, maybe not, but it wasn't that hard in the beginning. I think it's way harder now, way harder than it used to be, but that makes sense. That makes sense because content right now is a saturated market. Like, there's so much content, it's insane. There's all kinds of content. If you go online, you can find almost everything you want. There's everything out there, and there's something for everyone, which is great, you would think, because you can find everything, you can have everything you want. But at the same time, it's hard as a creator if you don't really have a niche love for something. I don't have a specific niche love for something. I love a lot of everything. I love studying music. I love making music. I love making art. I love drawing. I'm good at those things. I also always felt like making content, making videos on YouTube. I grew up with YouTube, watching people like PewDiePie. PewDiePie is like a massive inspiration for me, and I've always wanted to create videos like him. So at a certain point, I started my channel. I've always kept his content like in the back of my mind, always ready to try and be like him, actually. But that was super hard. What that man did is crazy by itself. Posting every day, sometimes even 2 times a day in the beginning. But it was possible. And it was possible back then because the algorithm was completely different. And the YouTube algorithm, first of all, YouTube was like the main place you would go for videos. Like, there wasn't anything else. It was just YouTube. And even then, being on YouTube, you had other advantages. You could just make a video and, that probably wouldn't do anything by itself. But if you made like 3 or 4 videos, well, you would start to see like a little snowball rolling, getting bigger, because that's just how the algorithm worked back then. You could quite easily make one big video. You could make like a few videos in a week and you would see progress. You could make a video per day. Those videos would get pushed to your viewers and viewers out there. And if they watched, well, chances were that you would get a bigger audience, just because if they watched it and they liked it, then obviously other people were gonna like it. So the algorithm would push it further and further and bigger and bigger. It was basically like a cascading effect back then. Now that doesn't really exist. Videos don't stack upon each other. It's more like you make a video, and if you're not in a specific niche and you're not targeting the same people of one certain interest, you're not gonna grow that much. You're just gonna be hard stuck on the viewership you have. If your videos are good and they're like top quality every time, top notch, you will grow. That's a given. If a video is like the best thing ever, you have the best idea, the best execution, obviously you're gonna grow. You can make one-offs, it doesn't matter. But it matters when you're like a small creator and you're not, or you're just a different type of creator. You're more like the old kind of YouTube, where you would just make a video per day, do what felt right for you. Then this landscape would become way harder. And that's something that we see right now. It's like YouTube is a place and a feeding ground for the kind of creator that knows how to, like, for example, niche down and build an audience in that, and then grow a channel within a certain interest and grow it over time, maybe with some quicker successes as well, but like very, very hunkered down in a little bubble. That's what YouTube is all about right now. It's like the viewer comes first, which isn't a problem, because obviously the platform has to like make money and keep the viewer entertained and happy. So in doing that, they actually put the creator on like a backseat. They're like, okay, the creator is the the producer of the content, but the content has to be focused around the interests of the viewer. That's number one. And that's great. That's great for the viewer, you would think. But you also see that bigger creators, older creators, they came from a time, they're coming from a time, and they came from a time where that wasn't the case. So you could just do what you felt like and it would reach your audience, and your audience would be happy to engage with your content. And it was just a time where it was easier to become a creator, and you as the creator, you were the content. You were the thing people came to the platform for. And I feel like that died. And that by itself is something to be sad about. I still kind of miss those days where creators could be creators. They could be the brand. They were the brand. Now the niche interest or the topic of the channel and the topic of the video is the brand, and people have interests, so they only get to see their interests. I can't remember how many times I saw, like, for example, I saw one video of a demon core. I don't know if you know what a demon core is, but it's like a historical testing object that they use to figure out radiation and how to build a bomb with that, roughly speaking. And in the next days, the amount of other videos I would get around demon cores was crazy. And I didn't even like demon cores that much. That one video was really interesting, but all the other content wasn't really that interesting for me. But I just kept getting all of the demon core content you could imagine. So it was kind of interesting to see how the algorithm like thinks that's important. Like, oh, you like this one thing, so I'm just gonna give you all of this thing, all of this one thing. You like iPhones? Here is all the iPhone content ever. And I guess it works. I guess it keeps people interested and engaged. But from a creator point of view, it's the most heartbreaking and soul-wrecking experience you can imagine, because you're not really allowed creativity. You're like allowed to create within a little box. And I guess for some people that works. Some people have these niche interests and they can just produce and they can keep going. And obviously there's a lot of creativity in that, but it's not really the same. It's not like before. And I know I guess I sound old on that behalf, I guess, but it's just something I wish still existed. And I see it everywhere. I see it on other platforms as well. I see it on TikTok. I see it on Instagram, where you click on one thing and it just sends you in a rabbit hole of same sort content. But it also makes it way harder for new creators or new people to create stuff, because imagine you're creating something. You're creating like a piece of art, and your art doesn't fit in any, box. What do? You're basically screwed unless enough people find your stuff. So marketing your stuff becomes way more important, way more than it used to be. Before, the algorithms were on your side. Now the algorithms are against you. They're on the side of the consumer, because again, the platform runs on consumers, on viewers. But you as a creator, you're basically hated. It's a very interesting feeling. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating if you have a lot of creative ideas, or just different ideas. They don't even have to be creative in the most, let's say, non-monetary sense of the word. It's more like, it's very weird. That's something that we see as well. It's like, with everything being so saturated and almost anti-creator built, you kind of have a few choices. Like, you can believe that, the creative world isn't for you anymore. Definitely with the coming of like AI and everything, it makes it even harder. Or you can say, like, you know what, I'm gonna use what's out there, and I'm gonna use those things. I'm gonna use AI, for example, or I'm gonna, play the numbers game and just repost the same thing over and over and over and over again, and hope that one day it'll pop off, or something like that. And I don't know, it all feels very artificial. It all feels very, very fake and just hard. And so to bring it back to like how everything feels very anti-creator, it feels like being an actual creative doesn't give you the money, doesn't get you the money. It's like everything is stacked against you. If you wanna make money on these platforms, it feels like you kinda have to just accept that you are a production center of content. You are there to make content so the platform works. Again, not bad or not evil or any of those things. It's more like an observation, let's say. It's something I've seen. And people who can do that, people who know how to do that and or are very efficient in doing that, yeah, well, they thrive. These platforms have become the home for people like those. And I can already hear like voices of people saying like, oh, but no, you can definitely make different things. You can like make your own stuff on TikTok, or like everyone gets a shot. And I believe that everyone gets a shot, but there's a difference between getting a shot and knowing that there's a shot out there that's just way better. There's a way that's way better and way easier. You could do that and get money, not fame. That's also very important. Like before, those two things, like getting your bag and getting fame, kind of worked hand in hand. But nowadays it seems like the positive fame no longer exists, or not in the copious amounts of positivity and positive fame that's out there. That's like gone. It's like if you want fame, you're gonna be infamous. You're gonna be like an evil bastard, or you're gonna have drama with people, and then you're gonna get out there like some kind of celebrity drama. And if not, well, you're gonna get your bag. Maybe not the biggest bag. You're gonna get money, but you're gonna be hard stuck in like a niche, and that's your thing from then on. Like, I don't know I don't know how I feel about that either, because it's an interesting feeling to be shoved in one direction or the other. And obviously there are examples of people that got there, like Jinxie or Queso. Those are like recent examples of people who made it, and who positive examples of Sketch even. Sorry, I thought of another guy. Sketch, like 3 examples of streamers that are super famous and super positive to their communities. They're just, I can already tell that they're like sweet people. Like it's crazy. But I feel like those are like one-offs. Those are like lucky shots. And if you want to get there, well, there's no way of getting there in a controlled or less than lucky fashion. I don't know how to explain it. It's very interesting. It's just like maybe what I'm looking for, and maybe the way I would have done it never existed. That's completely possible. Maybe it was just all luck. Maybe people like PewDiePie and Markiplier or Jacksepticeye, people like them got big in a world where, you know, the platform was growing, and with a growing platform it gave like a growing audience. And then, you know, you can easily ride that wave and become a big creator, and everything snowballs from there. Also getting lucky with the algorithm and you know, stuff like that. Or you know, maybe they just got lucky and they hit their 1 in a million shot, and it's just there. That's completely possible. I know that. But at the same time, it feels like now that doesn't exist anywhere. You're always fighting like an uphill battle. You're always fighting some kind of almost impossibility. I think that's very, very, very emotionally taxing, almost draining even. But it's not all bad. It's I wanna end this little ramble/rant with some positivity, because I do believe there are ways of still doing it. It's just way harder. It takes more. It takes more more creativity. It takes more than just showing up to get somewhere. And I do still believe that the majority of this, like getting there, getting over the hump, we call it, is going to be a massive factor of luck. It's going to be a lot of luck. I think there will be a place for that creativity to come out and to do something different. Or maybe to do something that's already done, but like in a different way. I'm kind of looking for that. I'm looking for that for myself. I don't know how that's gonna look like, how that's gonna be reality in any way, but I'm getting closer to it. I feel like we're getting there. I feel like we're getting to that point where we can, you know, do something really crazy. And I think for my journey, my personal journey, that's going to be like a huge moment of like everything coming together and being like, wow, look at what I've done. Look at how I figured it out and got here. And I hope other people have those moments as well. I actually hope that other people get lucky way quicker, way more easily, and that they get their goals way more way smoother than my journey has been. But you know, I believe every journey has its goals. Every journey has like its lessons to teach, and I feel like I've learned my sets of lessons. And even though I'm not there yet, I keep working on it. I keep trying to put the puzzle pieces together and maybe try different combinations of puzzle pieces to make it work. And I hope, I sincerely hope it's not just luck. I also sincerely hope it's not some other factors that are holding me back. Obviously, I can see that I could make way better videos. Obviously, I could see that I can make way higher quality things that I'm making. But at the same time, I've seen the algorithm favor certain kinds of low effort content, that argument kind of gets thrown into the wind. It's like, that's not important. There's something else important. Or at least that's what I tell myself. I might be completely wrong. It might just be the quality that has to go up, or maybe it's something else. So yeah, anyway, I've been thinking about a lot of things, and this ramble is just like a reflection on my journey so far, and just a small observation on how YouTube and TikTok and content in general has been evolving over time and oversaturating, and with the coming of AI, it's only going to get worse in a certain sense. But then I do believe it's going to get a little easier for creators, because everything AI will be clearly AI, or maybe not clearly, but at least, you know, when real people share their lives and share things that they're interested in, there will be a place for that, because people will want to bond with real people. So I'm not really that afraid of the coming of AI in a generative sense, even though it's gonna oversaturate content even more. Yeah, I do believe there's still a place for us in here. To give this video like a nice conclusion, I think never give up is a very strong, powerful motto. Although it seems hard at times, you should never give up. You should keep going. You should keep trying things. Content is flicking shit at the wall and hoping it sticks, and figuring out what works. Figuring out why it works is a hopeless endeavor, because there are too many variables. So don't spend your time in that. Just try stuff. As certain people would say, go from 0 to 1. Once you're there, the world starts being a little bit more friendly to you, or at least that's what I believe. If not, I'll update you guys. If it gets harder, I'll tell you guys, and I'll give you advice. I'm building in public. I'm building the brand, the Ben BP brand in public, and I'll keep you updated. If you like this type of video, let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of Ben Bippe and the Bippe show. Yes. And I hope to see you soon. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Alex Trana 1715 for being one of the most amazing subscribers to the channel. Find him on YouTube, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.